In many spiritual and religious traditions, we are encouraged to practice detachment. It's often said that detachment is one of the most powerful ways to live. But the truth is, we might be doing it wrong. You see, we're told to be detached from our surroundings, our situations, even from our families, and instead to keep only God in our thoughts. So we try, but never truly succeed. Why? Because the problem isn't the world around us. It's the source of its experience, ourselves. Yes, it's through us that the world is experienced, and this experience happens within us. Let me explain. Remember how the process of seeing works? Light falls on an object, gets reflected, and creates an inverted image on our retina. This image is then processed by our mind, forming thoughts. In essence, the world around us is nothing but an experience created by thought within us. Without thought, there's actually nothing to perceive in the physical world. This is why we're often told to close our eyes and go thoughtless in spiritual tradition. Yet, we struggle. We fail to achieve this state of stillness, whether our eyes are open or closed. Why? Because we are too attached to the root of all experience, our senses, and ultimately, ourselves. We are trapped within the very mechanism that creates our reality. This brings us to the real practice of detachment, not from the world, but from ourselves and our senses. In the world of yoga, this practice is known as pratyahara, the art of withdrawing awareness from the senses. When you practice pratyahara, you begin to experience nothingness. And in this state of nothingness, the world as we know it disappears, and so does our sense of identity. And here's the beautiful part. This state of nothingness is the only prerequisite for merging with the divine. When our awareness is no longer tied to the source of worldly experiences, we naturally and effortlessly unite with the infinite. There's no need to push, force, or struggle. This is what true devotion is. It's not about worshiping externally, but about being devoid of ourselves. Have you ever noticed that the most ecstatic moments in life happen when we forget ourselves entirely? Isn't it? Now, in a world where we are constantly told to practice self-love and self-respect and so on, you might be wondering, why should I become devoid of myself? Here's the surprising truth. The root of all compulsive thinking, all negative emotions, lies in this very I thought, the constant attachment to our sense of self. The very self that we are obsessed with is the root cause of all negative tendencies like greed, lust, hate, anger, and so on. Deep down within, we all long for either getting rid of ourselves or a temporary escape. That is why we prefer distractions over ourselves, be it music, movies, vacations, and so on. As we all know, many people turn to external means, alcohol, distractions, substances, just to create a temporary distance between their awareness and their thoughts. We are so stuck, so trapped in ourselves, that we crave an escape, even if it's harmful. However, we must remember that it is not alcohol, but that experience of self-riddance, which is addictive. However, external means are never a permanent solution. So what is the permanent way out? It's only when we realize that the very thing we are most attached to, our sense of self, is the root of all suffering, that we can begin to willingly let go. When we constantly remind ourselves that how weak we are and how our I thought is the root cause of all negativity, do we genuinely start becoming a devotee? This is where true surrender begins. Surrender is not a sign of weakness, but an acceptance of our limitations. It's when we recognize how fragile we are, and we give up our attachment to the self. Only then can we let go of everything in the physical realm and naturally transition into the spiritual dimension. This dimension of no-thingness, of absolute surrender, is the source of everything. When we let go of the I that separates us from the infinite, we not only find freedom, but also our true identity of oneness with the Creator. And not only does this surrender take us beyond the physical world, but it also helps resolve the smaller issues that plague us, negative tendencies, anxiety, compulsions. These problems simply melt away when we stop clinging to ourselves. This is the gift of detachment. When you master this art, you gain access to a dimension that is beyond the reach of our physical senses. A dimension of pure peace, where the endless churning of thought ceases, and all that remains is pure being. When we practice detachment, we start to understand the flow of life. Instead of being caught up in resistance, we allow life to move through us like a river, without clinging to any moment or experience. We become one big yes to life and get consumed by acceptance. Yet, life's true essence is experienced when we flow freely without attachment. In this state, we don't just observe life, we become one with it. As we detach from ourselves, we naturally dissolve into the rhythm of existence. We no longer need to grasp or control because we recognize that life is self-sustaining. When we detach, we align ourselves with this effortless flow, and in doing so, we open the door to a deeper, infinite connection. So, I invite you to practice this ecstatic art of detachment and experience the beauty of merging with the infinite. Thank you for watching. If you found this content insightful, please like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more spiritual content. We hope to see you on this beautiful journey of self-discovery and inner peace. Until next time, stay aware, stay detached.